Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Lounatic Zero with another awesome review. Today we're going to be reviewing G.I. Joe's Classified Snake Eyes. Let's get into it.
I get to it first, I got you mad. I guess that when I get to it last. Get it, then I'm never going back. Get it, then I'm never going back. I get to it first, I got you mad. I guess that when I get to it last. Get it, then I'm never going back. Get it, then I'm never going back. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it, then I'm never going up.
Alright, let's get into the packaging. So on the front, you will see Snake Eyes with all his accessories. It says G.I. Joe Classified Series. Snake Eyes name right underneath. Of course, you see a drawing of Snake Eyes right there. On the other side, it is the continuing drawing of his arm with a sword. Then on the back, it's amazing artwork. Oh my God, I wish I had that as a poster. This is so, brings me back to my childhood, G.I. Joe right now. Of course, you'll see some of the Joes right here, Cobra Commander, Destro, and some of the ninjas, tanks. Amazing, love this. Then on this side, you see is a skull, knife, eyes, Japanese symbol, Snake Eyes, and then right underneath that is number 2, because he is the second one on this line. Then of course, you will see the number 2 there again, and the star for G.I. Joe. All right, so why don't we take this guy out of the packaging, because I'm dying to see how he looks, and I want to check out the articulation. Before I go into the articulation, I wanted to show you guys all the accessories that Snake Eyes comes with. So he comes with a backpack, a SMG, I believe that's called, not too sure, not a gun person, so a regular pistol, combat knife, a silencer for both guns, and of course his signature sword. And the sword does have the markings right there, you can see it, which is awesome. So let's get into the articulation. Oh my God, he looks beautiful. This brings so many memories back from my childhood, watching G.I. Joe in front of the TV, eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles. This figure looks amazing. I wasn't able to get the first one that Hasbro had. That was a limited edition. He had a different color scheme. The visor was silver. It has silver accent on the figure on some of the stuff that he wears. That was, I think, $39.99, but of course, you know, people brought it and resell it now for like a ridiculous price. I hate when they do that. I wish I was able to get it, but I wasn't able to. I'm actually happy that I have this one, because this just brings me back to my childhood of watching G.I. Joe. I think actually he was the only Joe that I liked, was just Snake Eyes. I was a big fan of Cobra. Like always, I think the bad guys have the best cool stuff. So why don't we get into the articulation? Like I said before, I think I said articulation a few times already. So why don't we get into it? All right, you're coming off. So let's check them out. Cracking. That noise that you heard, that was the chair. I'm sitting on. Need to buy a new chair. So anyways, let's check it out. So his head, full 360. You know what? Let's take off his backpack. Put on the spinner for now. So look at that. Look at how beautiful that looks. See that right there? What? It goes back and front, side to side, 360. Looks amazing. The arms, great articulation, 360. Can do a T shape. Like, yo, I'm Scarecrow, what up? 2 joints right here, so he can do that. There is rotation on the wrist, so he can move it around. And of course, it goes forward and back, like so. There is movement on the torso, so he can, wow, maybe when he's doing like Matrix stuff, like, miss me, son. So he can do that. His torso does rotate. Couldn't do this with the old figures because they had a rubber band right in the middle. And if it broke, oh my God, it was a hassle to fix it. So you can actually do a split just like so. He can do a high front kick. It can go up to that much back. Then he has 2 joints right there on the knee, so he can touch his butt. And then he has movement on the ankle right there. Oh, you know what? There we go, because that's in the way. So up and down, sideways, and then around. Also, let's see, he has movement on his calf, which is pretty awesome right there. All right. I'm not gonna, let's take that off. All right, let's put this guy back on the spinner. All right. So my thoughts on this figure is my pros and my cons. The pros is that this figure is amazing. I got it because he, it's something that I remember from my childhood. At least these figures now are 6 inches tall. Unlike back in the day, they were, I believe, 3.75 inches tall. So we're super small. They had still good articulation like they do today, but it wasn't much. And again, back in the day, the figures back then, they had a rubber band in the middle. So every time you moved it, they kind of went back to the same spot. Over time, so much use, the rubber band would snap and you would have to find that same type of rubber band from any hardware store just so you can fix it. You don't have that problem nowadays, not in 2020. Pros and cons on this figure. The pros are a lot. He has great articulation, lots of accessories, 2 guns, a sword, the backpack, combat knife, and of course, the sheath to his sword. Another pro is the fact that this is 6 inch. It's not like from back in the days when I was growing up, they were 3.75 inches tall. And they don't have a rubber band, which is amazing. Imagine having a rubber band now on these figures, not cool. Another pro is just the way Hasbro took their time and were so detailed with this figure. I think it was amazing. Comparing this to a Marvel Legend, I would go with this every single time. So the only and the biggest con that I have with not with the figure, but with the Wave is how hard it is to find these figures. I looked out and I went to my local mom and pop comic book store, which I always recommend everybody to do, and I found the first Wave there. He had everybody except for Destro. The only 2 that I wanted were Snake Eyes and Destro. Maybe it's something in the East Coast. I've seen people on Instagram and other parts of the United States that have found these figures everywhere. Target, Walmart. Over here, not so lucky. So I went to my local mom and pop stores. Shout out to Craig at Comics and Collectibles in East Hartford, Connecticut. If anybody is around the area where I'm at, if you're a geek, check him out. Carries a lot of cool stuff from Marvel Legends to NECA. Of course, now G.I. Joe. He does the SH figure arts, and he has statues, like anime statues of Dragon Ball Z and so on and so forth. All right, so let me jump into the ranking. I'm gonna consider everything in the ranking and consider the articulation, the way the figure looks, even including how hard or how easy it was to find this figure. Out of a ranking of 1 to 5, I have to give this figure a 4.5. I would give it a 5. The only reason I didn't, it was because in the East Coast, where I'm at in Connecticut, it was really hard for me to find this figure. Other places, again, like I said previously in the United States, they've been able to find this figure fairly easy. Here was really hard. I went to my local mom and pop shop with my son to get some comics, and I lucked out. He had the first Wave there except for Destro. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so you can get real-time updates every time I upload new content. I hope everyone is staying safe out there. Lounatic Zero out. Why don't we get into the pros and cons on this figure? The pros are so many, is insane. He has great articulation. The evil stare of my wife, Jesus. Pros and cons on this figure. Figures. Why am I yelling? I don't know. I'm so sorry, people. Oh, look at that. He fainted because I said the word
He was like, no.
No, stop it. Your wife told you not to say it.
When I get to it last, get it that I'm never going back. Get it that